Dirty tents, dirty cars. Moody the sleuth or Moody the sloth. The jury was still out at the end of week 3. On the 30th of June, we camped at Fort Stevens State Park on the northwesternmost tip of the Oregon coast, the southern lip of the Columbia River. Coincidentally, as the sign commemorates, the exact point where Lewis and Clark reached the sea. Downstream and west of the Columbia River Gorge with its famous winds, the windsurfers actually fly there, Ernie told us, like hang gliders. Something about sails that flip sideways to double as glider wings. Though indeed, Ernie was being largely ignored by this time. We spent the previous night driving from Glacier International Peace Park on the Canadian border to the International House of Pancakes in Spokane, Washington. We crossed the Idaho Panhandle sometime between 1 and 3 in the morning, way up in the North Country where piles of dead deer litter the sides of the road. At one point, Ernie swerved Abe's truck into the grass on the far side of the road to miss more live ones. He no doubt saved our lives as well as theirs. But even so, we'd grown tired of the Ernie company. In Spokane at dawn, we drove through a downtown intersection under siege from a battalion of giant soap suds. Huge wind-broken puffs, like low rolling clouds. Laundry detergent dumped into the spouting fountain on the sidewalk by the river. We pulled up to the light there just after sunrise and were surrounded by white suds pushing up against the doors and windows of the truck. A bit of overnight mischief that Ernie is convinced was perpetrated for his benefit. His juvenile instincts always wide awake. The sun came brightly up a few of the Spokane side streets. In gray Seattle, Ernie got pulled over for making an illegal left turn. The old Boston left on red. By cops riding bicycles. We stopped at the Space Needle but didn't go up. The sky was thick and misty, and the elevator ride was $5 or $6. I took the wheel and then I took the wheel and then stopped for my first cup of Seattle coffee. But as luck must fluctuate, it was burnt. In Olympia, Washington, the truck got dropped off for a quick lube job. But after Abe got the keys, he locked the truck and took off for an hour-long jog. Ernie and I walked back to the lube place after 45 minutes, and then had a short conversation with the fat, friendly guy behind the counter. Ernie explained how Abe was usually beyond earshot when it came time to shake and fold up a dirty tent. Ah, dirty tents, dirty cars. Same difference, boys. For some reason, your friend feels he needs to distance himself. You're a good man, fat man, Ernie said to the guy. When Abe came back, he jumped into the truck, started the engine, opened the windows, put in a tape, turned it up, and then jumped out to grab a towel from the back. He leaned against the truck as if he hadn't a care in the world. We were to pay for the oil change, to get back for a few tank fill-ups, so he might have been waiting for us to come back and pay the bill. Ernie was all fired up by this point and stormed out the garage door to confront him. Hey you! You happen to notice anything strange about the truck when you got here? Maybe besides the fact that it's parked in exactly the same spot? You happen to notice that the doors are locked, dipshit? As if still nothing was wrong, and he couldn't be bothered even if there was. Even if only the sound of Ernie's voice. Abe reached under the steering wheel and pulled out the keys. He tossed them to Ernie, who was just staring at him in disbelief. The keys hit Ernie's leg and fell to his feet. Abe walked across the street to a Chinese restaurant. Me and Ernie went next door. Me and Ernie went, excuse me, let me try again. Me and Ernie then went next door and napped in the big wicker chairs at Pier 1 Imports. I got behind the wheel again and drove the three of us south and west to the edge of the continent, where we set camp and unwound a bit. The coast-to-coast element of the trip completed. We spent the following night in Oregon also, 2/3 of the way down the coast at a horse camp. This was our last stop before the big weekend in and around San Francisco. The weekend that would prove to end, as had loosely been planned, with a vital drop-off at the San Francisco airport.